Hey guys, welcome to lesson 8.04. We're going to talk about perimeter today. Our objective today is that students will be able to apply two-dimensional formulas, which we have been talking about, as well as bringing back some trig ratios to find the perimeter of a given shape. So most of you remember this, but just to recap, perimeter is the distance around the edge of the shape. So I'm looking at the outside. We always refer to this as, oh, if I'm fencing a yard or fencing somewhere, it's the outside. So some simple formulas that we need to remember, I would suggest that you copy this into your notebook, is that the perimeter, because it's the outside, if I gave you a triangle, it's adding all three sides. If it's a square, it's going to be s plus s plus s plus s, which is the same thing as saying 4s. And then for the rectangle, if remember, opposite sides are congruent. So if that's L, this is also L. If that's W, this is also W. To just simplify it, it's like saying L plus W plus W. Now, if we're talking about the perimeter of a circle, remember that's like the outside of the circle. That's known as the circumference. And to find the circumference, it is 2 pi d or 2 pi r. So in this example, it says in the company diagram, perimeter of the triangle, given the sides, is equal to the perimeter of the square, and the question is asking us to find the length of one side of the square. Now, in order to do that, I need x. So I know that they're equal. Perimeter means distance around. So, and this is a square. So if that's 3x, this is also 3x, this is 3x, and this is 3x. So distance around would be 3x plus 3x plus 3x plus 3x, which is 3, 6, 9, and 3 is 12x. All I did was add all around. And then on this side, I'm going to write this guy out for you. It's 4x plus 4 plus 5x minus 3 plus 17. Let's simplify this. All the x's together. So that's 9x. And then here you have 4, you have minus 3, and then you have a 17, which simplifies to 18. So here, this is equal to 9x plus 18. Now, if I know these two perimeters are equal, then I'll set these guys equal to each other. And then we go ahead and solve and bring in algebra, minus 9x on both sides. This is cancel, you're left with 18 is equal to 3x. Divide by 3 on both sides. What's 18 divided by 3? You got it. This becomes 6 equals x. Now that's x. The question says find the length of a side. So one side is actually 3x. So when you substitute in here, it will be 3 times 6. Actually, let's put this in parentheses because we're substituting. And 3 times 6 is 18. So the length of one side is 18. So here's a question where we have to apply the perimeter to solve for something else. Make sure you copy this example in your notebook. Pause the video, okay? And let's take a look at our second example for today. Now this, we are taking it back all the way to trig ratios. It says in the company diagram, an altitude is drawn. Remember, when altitude is drawn, it creates 90 degrees. If CD is 8, the measure of angle A is 45, the angle B is 30. Find the perimeter rounded to the nearest tenth. So that means I need to get everything. So what we're going to do is we're going to work with this guy right here. And we need to find, let's call this x and call this y. So I'm going to label opposite. This is your hypotenuse. And this is your adjacent. So let's find this guy first. So we will use sine of 45 is equal to 8 over x. Remember, when x is in the bottom, we're going to be dividing. So x is equal to 8 divided by sine of 45. Now remember, when we're doing this, calculator needs to be in what mode? Good job, in degree mode. So 8 divided by sine of 45 works out to be 11.31. We're going to do everything to 2 decimal around at the very end. Now let's find y. That's tangent. So tangent of 45 is equal to opposite, which is 8, divided by adjacent, which is my y. So again, this involves some division because it's in the denominator. So 8 divided by tangent of, I think it's too low, 45. So 8 divided by tangent of 45, again, make sure it's in degree mode. This works out to be 8. So this piece right here is 11.31. This small piece here is 8. So what I got to do now is use the other angle, and let's call this C and D. We need to find these guys. So again, I'm going to label this is still my opposite. This becomes my hypotenuse, and this is my adjacent. So I'm going to go ahead now and do the same thing on the other side. Sine of 30 is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. I'm going to divide again. Sine of 30. And if I plug this in my calculator, 8 divided by sine of 30, I get 16. So I'm telling you that this piece is 16. So the other piece that we need to find is this guy right here, which is going to be O and A is tangent. So tangent of 30 is equal to 8 over D. 8 is equal, not 8, sorry, D is equal to 8 divided by tangent of 30, and that would give me 13.85. So this is 13.85. Now see these numbers that I'm going to circle here? Perimeter means distance around. That means I'm going to add all of these numbers. So my perimeter will be 11.31 plus 16 plus 13.85 plus 8. That would give me 49.16, and I'm rounded to the nearest tenth, which will be 49.2. That's my final answer. So this one was a lot of work because we had to apply trig ratios. So even though we're done with that unit, you still have to be able to incorporate that into what we're doing. Now, here is what's going to happen. After you copy those two examples, you got a worksheet that needs to be completed and turned in on Google Classroom. Don't forget, if you have any question, email me, okay? Have a great day, guys.